You can start over. I know that because you're still here, still breathing, still listening. That means God is not done with you yet. But here's the warning no one gives you. Starting over isn't enough. Because if you start over without deciding what's non-negotiable, you'll rebuild the same broken thing with a fresh coat of paint. New city, same patterns. New job, same habits. New relationship, same compromises. New ministry, same burnout. The location changes, the behavior doesn't. I know because I almost did it. After we sold the building, my first instinct was to recreate what was. Find a new building, run the same playbook, get back to normal. But God didn't want normal. He wanted new. And new required something I've never done before. Defining what was sacred before I touched a single brick. This is episode 56 of When Faith Feels Far series. Today we're talking about starting over on purpose. Let me set this up.
Welcome to the Clarence Stowers Leadership Podcast, a podcast about becoming 1% better every day. And now your host, yours truly, Clarence Stowers.
Welcome back, and this is episode 56 of When Faith Feels Far podcast series. Last week, we talked about the weapons that saved me, gratitude and joy, the practices that pulled me out of the dark. Today, we build. Chapters 11 and 12, a new beginning, and what's non-negotiable. This is where the series shifts from surviving to building. If you're ready to start over, but you're scared of making the same mistakes, this is your episode. Let me tell you where this is headed. We've spent 5 episodes in the pain, collapse, silence, fear, isolation, hope, surrender, gratitude, and joy. Today we turn the corner. This episode is about 2 things. First, like not a restart, what God-authored new beginning actually looks like, not a resurrection. Second, the 4 boundaries that protect everything you're about to build. Because if you build without guardrails, you're setting yourself up for the next collapse. 3 insights. 1 practice. Let's go. Let me tell you about the moment I saw the new thing. After we sold the building, I spent months trying to get back to what was. Find a new space, get the programs running again, recreate the rhythm. But every attempt felt forced. It's like trying to fit old furniture into a new house. The pieces just didn't work. And God kept whispering, stop rebuilding the old thing. I'm doing something new. The problem was I didn't want new. I wanted familiar. I wanted the version of ministry I understood. The one without walls and the parking lot and the sound system. But God wasn't going backward, and neither could I. Here's what I've learned. The biggest danger after major loss isn't staying down, it's getting up and rebuilding the same thing that broke you. New beginnings require new boundaries. Otherwise, the ending just repeats. So, let me tell you what the new thing looked like. Which brings me to my first insight. God does something new. I'm going to show you what God's new thing looked like for Mars Hill and how you can recognize it in your own life. Let's set the foundation. Isaiah chapter 43, verse 19 says, "For I am about to do something new." See, I've already begun. Do you not see it? That question at the end always gets me. Do you not see it? God's not asking if you understand it. He's asking if you see it. Because his new thing rarely looks like your old thing. And if you're still looking for what was to come back, you'll miss what he's already doing. First time Mars Hill gathered after we sold the building, we met at a banquet facility. Didn't look like church, didn't feel like church, at least not the church I'd spent pastoring over the past 20 plus years. But something was different. The conversations were deeper. The prayers were rawer. The people were closer. Without the building, we had nothing to hide behind. No stage, no production, just people and God. And in that stripped-down moment, I heard God say, "This is what I was building all along. The building was the scaffolding. The people are the temple." Mars Hill didn't die when we sold the building. Mars Hill Anywhere was born. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17 says, Anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone. A new life has begun. If you're looking for what was, you'll miss what is. Ask God, open your eyes to the new thing he's already started. But here's the warning. A new beginning without guardrails is a setup. Let me show you why boundaries matter before you build, which leads me to my second insight. What's non-negotiable? I'm going to show you the 4 boundaries that protect everything worth building. Chapter 12, it's called What's Non-Negotiable, and here's why it's in this book. Because I've watched people start over after loss and end up in the same mess. Different city, same debt. Different church, same burnout. Different relationship, same compromise. The restart failed because they never defined what was sacred. So before I rebuilt Mars Hill Anywhere, I sat down and wrote 4 things that I'd never negotiate again. Number 1, my peace. I won't sacrifice my mental and emotional health for any ministry outcome. If my peace is gone, my leadership will follow. Secondly, in addition to never negotiating my peace, my paper. I'll manage money as a steward, not an owner. I won't carry debt that controls my decisions or steals my margin. Thirdly, I won't negotiate my purpose. I won't let other people's expectations define my calling. Occupation changes, vocation remains. I build from calling, not pressure. And then finally, I'm not negotiating my plan. I'll prepare with discipline and release the outcome to God. I own the preparation. God owns the result. And that's what makes Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15 so powerful. So be careful how you live. Don't live like fools, but like those who are wise. Those 4 boundaries became the foundation for everything I rebuilt. And when temptation came to compromise, when someone wanted me to overextend, when a good opportunity threatened to pull me from the right thing, I already had my answer written down. No, that's non-negotiable. So how do you define your own non-negotiables? Let me give you the framework. Which leads me to my third and final insight, building your boundary. I'm going to walk you through how to build your own 4 non-negotiables so your next chapter has guardrails. Here's the exercise. Grab something to write with, something to write on, and write down your 4 headers: peace, paper, purpose, and plan. Now, under each one, write one sentence that defines what you'll never compromise again. For peace, ask, what's stealing my peace most often? What boundary would protect it? Here's an example. I won't say yes to anything that requires me to perform a version of myself that isn't real. Did you catch that? Now for paper. Write this down. What financial habit keeps pulling me backward? What rule would stop it? Here's an example. I won't take on new debt to fund someone else's expectation of what my life should look like. Did you catch that? For purpose. Write this down. What am I doing right now that has nothing to do with my calling? What should I stop? Or what would I stop? Here's an example. I won't accept roles or responsibilities that pull me away from what God specifically called me to do. And then finally, for plan. Where do I keep winging it instead of preparing? What would discipline actually look like? Here's an example. I'll plan my week before it starts so urgency doesn't replace priority. 4 statements. Post them where you can see them every single day. When the next opportunity, relationship, or decision shows up, you don't have to think about it. You just check the list. This isn't rigidity, it's wisdom. You're not closing doors, you're protecting the right ones. That's why I love Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9. We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. You own the preparation. God owns the outcome. Your job is to be clear about what's sacred. His job is to build what's next. Let me bring this home. Here's the bottom line. You can start over. God's giving you permission. But don't start over blind. Don't start over reactive. Don't start over just hoping this time will be different without deciding what you'll actually do differently. Define what's sacred, protect your peace, guard your finances, stay true to your calling, plan with discipline. And then watch what God builds, because what He's doing is new. It's already begun, and it's bigger than anything you lost. Your next chapter isn't a repeat. It's a resurrection, but only if you build it on purpose. Here's your practice this week. Write down 4 non-negotiables. 1 for your peace, 1 for your money, 1 for your purpose, 1 for your plan. 1 sentence each. Post them where you can see them every day. When the next decision comes, check the list. If it violates a non-negotiable, the answer's no. No guilt, no explanation, just no. And if you want the full framework with reflection questions and prayers, grab the book When Faith Feels Far. It's on Amazon in paperback and Kindle. Links in the description. Leave a comment. What's the one thing you'll never compromise again? I promise you, I read every single one. Next week, episode 57, Protect Your Peace and Your Paper. We're going deep into 2 of the 4 non-negotiables. I'm going to get real specific about what protecting your peace actually looks like in practice, and I'm going to talk about money the way the church usually won't. Honestly. I'll see you next week.
You've been listening to the Clarence Stowers Leadership Podcast. Join us next time for more insights on becoming 1% better each day and leveling up in all areas of life.